Sorry, yeah.
Good afternoon,
Hello.
Mr. Parikshit. Yes, hello.
Hi, Preeti. Good
Yeah.
afternoon. Hi,
So,
Vikas.
Yeah, hi, Mr. Parikshit. How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
good.
Okay.
Absolutely fine.
Great.
So, we will start today. So, good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Preeti Sharma, working as consultant with Greenifit. And today I'm the facilitator for today's expert talk, which is for our Simply ESG newsletter. And for today's expert talk, it's my pleasure to introduce our guest, Mr. Parikshit Deshmukh, Director of Techeco, a company which is specializing in waste management infrastructure, recycling, upcycling services in India. And Techeco promotes eco-friendly recycling and reuse of electrical and electronic items for an inclusive, responsible, and climate-conscious sustainable future. So, welcome, Mr. Deshmukh. Also, we
Thank
have
you.
Ms. Pooja Lahre from Tech Eco team, who is Manager Operations and Research at Tech Eco Waste Management. Welcome, Ms. Pooja. And now
Thanks, Preeti.
I would like to introduce our host of this expert talk, Mr. Vikas Sharda, Director Greenifit. And Greenifit is an environmental consultancy firm specializing in sustainability solutions and climate advisory for businesses. Mr. Sharda has rich experience in advisory roles and project finance. He brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to his role. So, welcome, Mr. Sharda. Also, we have my colleague, Mr. Hassan Khan, who will be joining us soon. He is executive consultant with Greenifit. So, now over to you, Mr. Sharda.
Yeah, thanks, Preeti, for this introduction. And thanks a lot, Mr. Parikshit, Pooja, for sparing your time and, talking to us on very important, the topic that is on the e-waste management. Okay, so before we start, I mean, I'll just give you another quick overview of why we are doing this exercise, while Preeti would have probably explained that to you. Okay, so as Preeti mentioned, we are the climate advisory firm. Okay, and we work a lot in the space of the sustainability. Okay, and now you can see that because of this climate change, the world over, you know the governments are focusing a lot on reducing this carbon footprints. Okay, making sure that the companies, they comply with the environmental standards. Okay, and the government is also putting a lot of regulation in terms of at least asking the companies to disclose what they are doing currently. First, before going to what they should mitigate in terms of several other steps they should be taking, okay, in terms of mitigating their carbon footprint, etc. First, the government is ensuring that yes, first, the company should disclose what they are doing currently, right? So we are seeing a lot of challenges with respect to the companies in disclosing what they are doing currently, because many companies, we find that they themselves are not aware how they should be kind of disclosing this data, etc. Okay, so we found that there will be a lot of the knowledge gap which were there with respect to the understanding about sustainability, understanding about the ESG related the framework, etc. Then we thought of starting this newsletter so that we can at least kind of disseminate this you can say the information with respect to the ESG, the circulate the information insight with respect to the environment related, the standards, regulations, what other companies are doing, so that the companies can then prepare themselves in terms of taking proactive steps, okay, for taking steps in terms of mitigating their the carbon footprints. Okay, so that is where we thought that we should start this newsletter. We started about 8 months back. Okay, and slowly we are kind of expanding our the coverage within this newsletter. So in our the recent last one, I mean, we covered our expert talk. We had a very nice interaction with the former sustainability head of Tata Power Company Limited. So in this edition, we thought that we should include you. We should be talking to you in terms of your experience. Okay, when it comes to the e-waste management. So when we look at, say, the environment or the ESG performance of the company, definitely, the environment is a very important part in the ESG. And within environment, when we look at, what we find is, the waste management also is given significant importance. Okay, when it comes to the the environment performance of the company. Okay, so I would like to start with how your journey has been, and then if you can give a little bit of overview of your company, what you have been doing, and then we can then kind of start with what we have to kind of discuss.
Definitely. Thank you, Vikas, and great work you guys are doing. As in, not many people are there in this industry of recycling, and
Hmm.
it is very important through mediums like yours to educate people, make people more aware about what is happening in the
Right.
industry and what is not. Like we are doing our part, but of course, it is not easy to reach out to such a big audience, and having professional like you over here doing this job for the environment for everyone, it's really a great thing. So congrats to you guys on that for a year, and keep doing the hard work. So I'll start with Techeco, how like everything started. So it was a very small thought when between friends, as usual, how it starts like a startup, right? Like we have to do something for the environment, we have to do something for the recycling,
Hmm.
and then slowly we saw the market. It everything came up to inception in the year 2014.
Hmm.
Our parent company actually is Namo E-Waste. If you must have heard
Okay.
about Namo E-Waste,
Hmm. Hmm.
it's based out of Delhi, and like Akshay Jain, one of our managing directors as well. Like he's with me as in a good friend of mine. We were together in the UK studying. We saw a lot of e-waste piling out over there in
Hmm.
2011-12. That time, India really didn't have any, measures for waste management in general. Not only for e-waste, but plastic, battery, and all of these other things.
Hmm.
This last 10 years or a decade, you can say, the government has been very instrumental in forming new laws, forming new policies, forming new segments for the waste management.
Hmm.
And when we came back to India in 2014, 15, somewhere, we saw a big void of, to fill up this void, we wanted to do something.
Hmm.
And then electronic was one of it as well. Of course, we have been very fascinated with the electron. Everyone is right. There is a new
Hmm.
phone launching. There's a new laptop coming up. There's a new
Hmm.
iPad
Hmm.
coming up.
Hmm.
Everyone wants to buy everything. You have to be
Right.
technologically updated. But
Yeah.
what is going to happen to it after you use it for several years is
Correct.
the main part. And that's
Hmm.
where we found out that like we have to find a solution to it.
Hmm.
So in the initial years, it was again, as you know, it's a very informal market over here in India with regards to e-waste or any other waste. It's around right now also hardly 10% or 8 to 10% is getting recycled formally. Rest
Hmm.
everything is still
Correct.
informal. Uh,
Hmm.
when the inception started, the idea behind it was to uh, take the informal guys with us,
Hmm.
take them into our channel, because see, they are the best at collection. How
Hmm.
much ever we try to collect, we try to put vehicles and all of these things, it's going to be a more overhead to us to
Hmm.
run a company, to run a facility, plus the collection. So we thought that rather than that, you work it out a reverse way. We connected with the informal guys, we
Hmm.
educated them, we got their GST numbers, we got their
Hmm.
companies registered, because there was nothing, right? All these people
Hmm.
were
Hmm.
cash business. So we got them in a formalized way of कि नहीं तुम tax भी pay करो आप, like everything has to, you have to run like an organization
Right. Right.
if you are a small time vendor. So today, approximately, we have 100 odd vendors whom we, got into the system, into the taxation. Like even if you are collecting, you pay your tax, you sell the material to us. What earlier they were doing was they were collecting, breaking it in their godowns, burning down the rubber, which out of which they would extract their copper from the wires and all of those
Hmm.
things.
Hmm. Hmm.
So after the like slowly after we started educating them, we
Hmm.
told them, you collect this e-waste for us now.
Hmm.
We will pay you, because see, end of the day, they are there for monetary benefits, right? Because
Hmm.
they have
Hmm.
to run the families also. So slowly we developed that channel. Then first recycling plant came up in Delhi in
Hmm.
2016. EPR policies came out where we were very instrumental with the government in
Hmm.
organizing the EPR policies and how it should happen, where it should
Hmm.
happen. Secondly, after 2 3 years, then we set up a plant in Nasik in
Hmm.
Maharashtra, which was named as Techeco.
Hmm.
Earlier, it was Namo E-Waste. Then Techeco came into inception in 2018-19 somewhere,
Hmm. Hmm.
and since 2019, it's been almost 5 years, and we are the largest recyclers in Maharashtra right now for the
Hmm.
West India region, around doing around 10,000 metric tons a year.
Hmm.
Uh, I have worked with like all the major corporates from Samsung, LG, Godrej, Apple,
Hmm.
you got it. And even for the IT,
Hmm.
we're working with Infosys, Wipro, Veritas, and helping all these bigger MNCs and companies to meet their even electronic compliance.
Hmm.
And while growing, like it was not a journey where I have done it or something. It was my team, everyone, like Pooja is over
Hmm.
here and other people, everyone like supported the cause.
Hmm.
All the enthusiasts of into sustainability, into recycling. So
Hmm.
we kind of we got people like that who were very energetic in this field, who
Hmm.
wanted to do something for the environment, and that's what
Hmm.
we also were looking for. So slowly it started. 2019-20, we did
Hmm.
around 2,000 tons of odd recycling. Then the
Hmm.
number, of course, got increased to 4,000, 5,000. Last year we closed around at 7,500. So
Hmm.
it's been a great journey altogether. And from from around 5 employees today, we have a family of 100 people over here in Nasik, and plus Delhi is a different tangent altogether. We are also like having collection centers in approximately 26 states in India, where all the e-waste is collected and then it is brought to the recycling facilities. So
Hmm.
having multiple facility was the aim was to target that particular
Hmm.
state or target that particular region, say east,
Hmm.
west, north, and south is like that's how India is divided. So having these multiple facility was that to reduce the carbon footprint. Like if I want to get something from Delhi to Maharashtra, I have a facility over there. Rather than that, I dispose it over there. So that was the main intention. That has been how we are planning our future. Also, we are in an expansion mode every day. There
Hmm.
are new people coming up. There is new facility coming up. There are new technologies coming up because since last 10 years, since when we have started, and right now the technology has completely evolved already. Right? You were using a Pentium earlier. Today, you are using a Generation 10.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's how, and it has been a very fast process. If you see, like from you went from iPhone 5 to iPhone 15 within 3 years. So that's how fast it has been, and that much of e-waste is going to get generated also
Correct.
overall.
Correct.
So
So I think rightly you've said. I think I really liked your unique, the proposition in terms of tying up with these small vendors and making
yes.
your partners in that. I think it's a really very unique, the business proposition.
Yeah,
So
because
now,
see, what people say is they want to remove the informal sector. Informal
hmm, hmm,
sector can never be removed. You have
correct.
to understand because they don't have certain overheads of collection. It is very
Hmm,
easier for them to collect the material and do
hmm,
it themselves. But what we proposed was that we'll pay you extra.
hmm, 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 hmm.
आप 100 टन कलेक्ट करते हो, आप 1,000 टन करो महीने
Correct.
का. You earn your profits into that, but you collect it and you give it to us. You don't
Correct.
dispose it or don't pollute the
Hmm, hmm,
environment.
hmm, hmm,
So that was our entire thought behind it,
yeah,
basically.
I think you are
Like
working on the
yeah, we see
principle
them
where,
as an
yeah,
asset technically. So they
yeah,
were our assets always.
yeah. In infrastructure, we call it, the PPP, public-private partnership. But here you are doing private-private, the partnership where,
Yeah,
you basically give responsibility to that party which best capable to manage that particular activity. I mean,
exactly.
so I think it is determined, right?
Because we told them and said like, see, recycling is our job.
Yeah,
We
right.
have our machineries, we have our education, we have our polished people working over here. आपका
Correct.
काम है कलेक्ट करना, आप कलेक्ट करो और उसको इधर लेके आओ. That's it.
Correct, correct, correct. Good.
we
So,
know.
as you said, the use of the electronic product has been increasing at a very high rate, right? So, that's what we are seeing. And that is largely because of the role of the technology itself, is increasing in everybody's life, and technology is becoming the integral part of, everybody's life, right? So, therefore, the role of electronic products that also has been increasing. Okay. So, with this increased, the market for this electronic product, what do you think are the opportunities for the company like yours? Definitely, it comes with a good market for you. That is definitely an opportunity. But along with opportunities, are you seeing some more challenges also along with that?
See, there are challenges which are always going to be there in
Hmm.
with regards to not only recycling any business, but
Hmm.
there's a lot of opportunity also.
Hmm.
Because what has happened is earlier there were up to last year there the government was very instrumental in putting the EPR policies together
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
the producers, that if you're manufacturing and selling
Hmm.
something, you have to take responsibility of getting it recycled also.
Correct.
Because our facilities or whatever investments what we have done in building these facilities,
Hmm.
how are they going to run? Only by recycling. ठीक है, वो तो चल ही रहा है इतने सालों से, people are
Hmm.
already
Hmm.
doing it. But until and unless you don't put any compulsion on the producer that
Hmm.
if you are making this, then it is your responsibility to get it disposed in a authorized manner also.
Correct.
So that was very instrumental in with the government. Up to
Hmm.
last year, there were only 15 products which were
Hmm.
there
Hmm.
in it,
Hmm. Hmm.
like say TV, fridge, AC, washing machine, mobile phone,
Hmm.
tablets, etc.
Hmm.
And after last year's compliance and addition of product, there have been around 117 products now which are already
Oh.
into e-waste management criteria. So the scope is like very vast, very vast. We are
Hmm.
also dealing into medical equipments now. We are also
Hmm.
recycling medical equipment like MRI machines,
Hmm.
CT
Hmm.
scan
Hmm.
machines.
Hmm.
We are also recycling, these lights and tube lights and
Hmm.
bulbs and
Hmm. Hmm.
switches, switch gears, all of these. So any product that requires electricity and battery to be operated is coming under e-waste.
Hmm. Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that EPR and all of that entire thing by the government is become a very good point for business right now
Hmm.
for us.
Hmm.
And of course, see what is going to happen. The more products they are going to add, and the more technology is going to get developed, that
Hmm.
much e-waste is going to be generated.
Hmm.
Somewhere you have to like right as like I said, it's only 8 to 10% of formal recycling which is happening.
Hmm. Hmm.
There are multiple recyclers who are coming up in various states. When
Hmm.
we started, we had a number of around 50, 60 odd recyclers
Hmm.
in Maharashtra when we had started.
Hmm.
Today, in India, I'm talking about, okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
around 50 recyclers in pan India. Today,
Hmm.
the number has gone up to 900, 1,000.
Wow.
So that growth of from 50 to 1,000 has been in another like 5 years.
Oh.
So people
So.
are already understanding, the importance of it. Still, there is a lack of, awareness which is between the common public.
Hmm. Hmm.
If you
Hmm.
would go to Chroma right now, if you buy
Hmm.
something from Chroma, they are still doing those exchange policies with you. Like
Hmm.
you
Hmm.
take the new one and give us the old one.
Hmm. Hmm.
So brands like these, like brands have to also come in together with us.
Correct.
We are anyways doing our part. We are
Hmm. Hmm.
collecting from homes. We are organizing drives at corporate events. We are, going
Hmm.
school to school. Also from these kabadiwalas and
Hmm. Hmm.
industries. We are
Hmm.
collecting from everywhere, but
Hmm.
it has to be supported by the brands also.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So it's a entire circular
Understood.
economy. Not only
Correct.
one person can do the
Hmm.
needful, or not only one person can fight with it. Like I said, the government has been instrumental in
Hmm.
assigning policies and everything.
Hmm.
So are the brands and so are the recyclers. So everyone is in a loop in this.
Correct. Yeah, I think the waste management principle itself talks about the circular economy, right? So
Exactly.
that's what it is. And as you rightly said, after this EPR, the regulation has come into being. I think probably that has given a kind of flip to this particular sector.
Right.
So now, say this EPR definitely puts a responsibility on the companies. Several things has been described there. whether it is you are a brand owner or you are a producer, or the third categories, number of categories are mentioned, and accordingly you have to take care of the responsibility recycling your the product, when it is finally consumed or something like that. So that's so how do you see the response from the companies? I mean, most of the companies are coming forward on their own, or do you think because of the regulation they are doing? Say in India, what happens is that if there is no regulation, companies generally they don't take proactive steps, right?
Yeah.
When there is a regulation, okay, now I have to comply with regulation, so I will do that. So I mean, how do you see, this trade-off? I mean, most of the companies are doing this because there is a regulation, or really there is an environmental concern because of that they are doing.
See, what happens is in bigger companies like which are
Yeah.
MNCs, like say I said Infosys and all these bigger companies, they have always been there for them,
Mm-hmm.
how much ever you say, because there is a audit which takes place. There
Okay.
are their internal auditing teams which takes place, every year, every quarter they have to submit their form 3 of what have you done with
Mm.
this particular waste, not only regards to electronic waste but with
Mm.
regards to all type of waste. Okay,
Mm.
because again they have their environmental clearance charges and all of those things. But smaller companies, until there were regulations, they were also giving it to informal sector. See, because no one really wants to take that step of recycler dhundunga and I'll call him and there is a kabadi wala, he'll come, he'll take everything and you're done.
Right.
That's how the mental it's all about your mentality. It's
Mm-hmm.
all about your mindset. How are you living with a mindset of not littering things around? Are you
Mm-hmm.
living with a mindset of not throwing that garbage, like that plastic, into the garbage bag and putting it to a proper recycling? So it's all your mindset, nothing else. And but right now, what has happened? Like I said,
Mm.
all the compliance have been like the compliance is so strict right now, and it will become more stricter. Maybe another 5 years down the line, it is going to be very a good phase and a good era for recycling apparently in India, because everything is getting audited right now.
Mm-hmm.
Every year they have to show, like now what the government or what the companies are also doing is, say suppose for
Mm.
a IT company, if you
Mm.
are buying certain lot of laptops around 10,000 pieces for your
Mm.
employees, you are already they are already geotagging, or they are already tagging the codes of the, like say you have given it to your employee in the year 2020.
Yeah.
Its recycling capability is now 3 years.
Mm.
Earlier it was 5 years, because technology change हो रहा है हर 2 साल में.
Right.
They
Right.
have to be updated with the technology. After
Mm.
3 years, they get a red signal that this instrument has already come for recycling. You remove it and you discard it. All
Mm.
that data is given to the pollution control board or to the CPCB, and from where they can track what exactly is happening with your electronics. So that
Right.
track record is being maintained now. Once that
Mm.
track, because earlier there was nothing like that, right? कि
Mm-hmm.
खराब हो गया बेच दो, or you give it to someone. That's how there was a natural process. Now all those tracks have been tracked. All the reports are getting analyzed. So all these things are coming up right now. So it is good, as in we are in a good phase of recycling.
Yeah. So what we are also seeing, many companies, small, specifically, the MSME companies, as you rightly said, the large companies which have, say, the good brand in the market. Yes, I mean, as per their own internal policy, they generally take care of, this waste management in a more environment friendly manner and all that. But if you look at specifically, the medium, small to medium companies, okay, so traditional mindset is, okay, I have generated the waste, तो कबाड़ी वाला को बुलाया, मैंने जो वेस्ट
Exactly.
दिया, चलो कुछ पैसा मिला मुझे, right? So I have sold the waste. I am least concerned about how he is disposing of that waste, right? So that is a traditional mindset. But now I think, with the new mindset, I think this, the money generating, that mindset has to change, right? So you need to ensure that your waste should be disposed of in a more environment friendly manner, and might be that you have to spend for that rather than making money out of that, right? You have to spend some amount for, properly disposing, that particular waste. So how do you see that changes, the happening specifically in that MSME space?
See, I'm still not seeing that change coming up
Acha.
in India. Like I said, it is again your mindset. Even if you take an example at your home, for
Yeah, right.
example,
Yeah.
you are disposing a mixer grinder or your mother or wife or anyone,
Yeah,
like you
yeah.
are disposing something.
Hmm.
They always have that thing in mind कि इसकी मुझे 50 रुपए मिलेंगे or
Right.
I'll get 100 rupees out of it. You
Mm-hmm.
know, which is not going to make any value to your daily living anyways, but
Correct.
you have that expectancy of you, or you expect something out of it because you
Yeah.
know there is a value to this. If you
Mm-hmm.
go abroad, if you go in another country like USA, UK,
Mm-hmm.
Japan, all of these countries, you have to pay to dispose your e-waste.
Right.
There's $100 you have to pay for certain amount of kgs if you want to get like rid of that e-waste. You have to
Mm.
call them. They will schedule an appointment after a week or 10 days, whatever. They'll come. They'll
Mm-hmm.
lift it up. You have to pay $100 and then they'll take it.
Mm-hmm.
I frankly don't see that happening in India yet, because it's going to take a lot of time though.
Yeah.
But still, we are monetizing whatever
Mm-hmm.
waste we are picking up from corporates, industries, or schools, colleges,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. We are still monetizing, to maybe we cannot monetize it to what a kabadi wala would give you,
Mm-hmm.
because kabadi wala doesn't have any operational cost technically,
Mm-hmm.
because he would just take it, remove the precious metal, throw the hazardous material, sell the precious metal, and make the money. Over
Mm-hmm.
here, we have to send laborers with helmets, gas. Our van will go. We will
Mm-hmm.
lift it up. We'll get it to the facility, process it.
Mm.
The hazardous hoga, we will dispose it to the hazardous waste disposable facility where we have to pay them to
Right.
dispose glass or process residue or all of those things.
Right.
But looking at the entire scenario, at least they are now, aware that it has to go to a recycler. They will ask a quotation from us. Maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
10-20% lesser, but they now we are giving generating e certificates or green certificates, which is then uploaded on the pollution control board's portal.
Mm-hmm.
All of these things we are anyways doing, but
Mm.
of course the companies are also very instrumental in giving us the waste and we are sustaining out of it. Again, it's a matter of awareness. Again, it's a matter of, you have to send it to the right person, to the right channel for
Mm.
recycling. So that's how it works.
Okay, so now you know that because of this growing environmental concern, growing climate change related issues, right? So now there's in India, SEBI has introduced this BRSR reporting by top 1,000, the companies, right? And then top 150 or 200 companies. Now they have to also do the same for their value chain partner, whether upstream or downstream, right? So within the BRSR reporting, when we look at, there is a specific, the column, you can say the table for, the e-waste, the different type of waste which has been categorized. Then I think the companies are required to also report how much of, the e-waste they have generated, and then how that has been kind of, disposed of, right? So have you seen some change after, say, the BRSR reporting has become compulsory? Have you seen some change in that, when the companies are coming and asking you also, say, how you are disposing of my e-waste, when I am giving it to you, right?
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you kind of, working with the companies in terms of telling them this is how you are kind of disposing of, you are giving any sort of certificate which they can kind of, take that and kind of, use the same for their reporting?
Yeah, so very good question. So we have been practicing this, like what you just mentioned. We have been practicing it since day one.
Mm,
We give all our clients a end-to-end recycling process certification, end-to-end recycling process documentation, and
mm,
end-to-end process of tracking.
mm,
We are doing it like 100%, from right from degaussing your data. Like if you
mm,
have certain e-waste or computers or laptop, whatever,
mm, mm,
there the data that is there in your hard disk, it is
mm,
very important. Okay, you cannot just take it and even if you are doing 3 hours like recycle, refurbish, reuse kind of, so what happens is whenever we are going to their locations to lift the e-waste, we have certain instruments for degaussing of hard disks or drilling of it or wiping out the data. We do that wiping, we do that degaussing. Once that all is done, we are taking the material from there to our facility.
mm,
There is a GPS tracker which is installed in the vehicle which is coming from
mm,
their facility to our facility.
mm,
They can track it live of the movement of the goods and all of those
mm,
things. We are of course follow the GST and e-way bill. That is a basic part of it. Once it is here at the factory, we are documenting it in multiple photographs. We are documenting the entire waste on multiple stages, like right from the entry to the weighbridge to the weight that is collected or in numbers. Once it enters the factory, we are segregating into reusable and
mm,
non-reusable products. Whatever is reusable, it goes to my IT department. It
mm,
is again, there are button changes, screen damages, all of that is repaired, and then we are putting it into a refurbished market where we sell
mm,
it for under the name of refurbished, which we are having a license for as well.
mm, mm,
Once that is all done, remaining part it goes for further recycling.
mm,
Further recycling is what we dismantle everything, and we are majorly, extracting the commodity out of it, which is purely plastic, aluminium, iron, copper, steel,
mm,
MS, etc. So
mm,
all these commodities, when they are extracted, they are also categorized into different, like metal has different categories, iron has different type of categories, steel has like 302, 303, 304, plastic has different categories. All these categories are separated, then made into bundles, or then granulated. Plastic is granulated, iron is bundled, wires are again sorted, and aluminium is different, copper is, then further they are given to our foundries for
mhm,
melting.
mhm,
Like for aluminium, we have our own parent company who is melting the aluminium extracted out of the e-waste. Then
mhm,
that extracted aluminium, melted aluminium, is formed into ingots, and then that ingots are further sold to leading automobile companies
mm,
in
mm,
India
mm,
who are manufacturing engine casting, or all of these things. So there
mm,
is an end-to-end process with invoices, with purchases, with videos of recycling. So all these companies, like the companies we are working with, they have groomed us also in a way, because they
mm,
are
mm,
multinationals. They are already doing it in
mm,
Germany. They are already doing it in the USA, or
mm, mm,
other countries like that. So all those rules they have implemented with us, and with that we have also brushed our skills, or we have also
mm,
implemented all those compliances into our working standards also. So what we do is, let it be a smaller company who is giving us 50 kg, or let it be a
mm,
bigger company from where we are getting 50 metric tons. The
mm, mm.
process is the same.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, like e-waste, definitely, I mean, when you do the processing or say when it has to be disposed of, right? Definitely, it has some environmental, the concern because it has to be disposed of in a proper manner because it includes normal, the metals as well as some hazardous, the materials are also there as a part of this. So,
Right.
how do you generally take care when you kind of, handle this? The e-waste when it comes to really the environment safety part of it.
Yes.
So, see, with the safety part, we are very well, like entirely compliant with safety with regards to our factory insurance, with regards to the labor insurances, and also the entire ESG is in place. With like, if you come to my facility, or
Mhm.
anyone who's going to lift the material, we are giving them hand gears, head gears, and jackets, and masks have been given. Also, the extraction of hazardous metal, like when the PCB is recycled, we are extracting a lot of the process residue dust. That dust is more hazardous, in manners of,
Mhm.
if someone gets in contact with it, or anything like that. So
Mhm.
you might, just a second, now. Just charge my laptop.
No issue, no issue, please take
Yeah. So, with regards to all of these things, we are very much compliant. We take care
it. Mm,
of all the safety gears are in place. All
mm,
the licenses are in place. There is a license specifically which we
Hello.
have for
हाँ.
hazardous waste disposal, which is by there's
इंटरव्यू
a
वाला
company
चल
by the
रहा
name
था.
of Maharashtra Enviro Power
हाँ.
Limited. It's a
mhm,
government and private
I'll talk
acquisition
to you.
of
I'll
for
mhm,
talk to you
hazardous
later.
disposal. Pan Maharashtra, everyone who is generating these kind of hazardous waste, they have to
Hmm.
send it to them.
Okay.
And we are also paying, like suppose for example, foam from the refrigerator when it's extracted. Foam is very hazardous. You cannot really recycle it, or you cannot do anything out of it. We have
Hmm.
tried multiple ways. We are also researching on multiple ways of
Hmm.
converting it into paint or using it into fly ash,
Hmm.
but it's still in a very research process right now.
Hmm.
But right now we are giving it to Maharashtra Enviro Limited. They are
Hmm.
also integrating it, and they have certain processes for that. We are paying them 25,000 per ton to take it away from them.
Hmm. Hmm.
Technically, it's a, expense for us, but then we have to do it. There's no other way of what an informal kabadiwala would do is just remove, break it, and throw
Right.
it.
Right.
Right.
Right,
So,
right. So, I mean, definitely for e-waste management, a lot of technology also must be evolving, and then new technologies must be coming in, for handling, the waste in a more cost-efficient manner, as well as probably in a more efficient manner per se. So,
yeah,
how
yeah.
do you kind of, gear up yourself in terms of, adopting, say, the new technologies when it comes to, right, the e-waste management?
So, with regards to technology, we since day one we have been instrumental in, again, there is a new addition of machinery every year. What we have right now, we are recycling up to the finest metal to be
Mm,
extracted, which is from your circuit boards.
mm, mm,
Like when you break a e-waste, when you break a washing machine, for example,
mm, mm,
you like we are extracting metal, copper, etc., all of those things. But the
mm,
finest is your wire, the from where you have to recover your copper or aluminum. Finest
mm,
is your PCB board, from where you are again recovering lead and copper, and then the hazardous material is
mm,
collected.
mm,
So we have all those technologies.
mm,
There's a machine, like there's a shredder and a furnace, in which we have ionization process also, and magnetic separator, from where we are separating all these heavy metals.
mm,
Uh, the machine is around 500 kg per hour is what
mm,
we are recycling with the PCB boards.
mm,
And we keep adding new technologies every time. As in, there is a new technology for if there's anything coming up for data degaussing, there's anything coming up for washing machine dismantling. Earlier, the process were more manual, more labor oriented, because of course the technology is very expensive. It
mm,
is not made in India. Apparently, there is still some more time to they'll make it over here, and that output of that machine. There are machines, but the outputs are not as per what you would get from something which is imported right now, right?
mm,
So we also have to take care of that we are recycling at least 99% of what is coming over here,
mm, mm,
maximum output. Because what happens is, if you take a local machine and it will give you output of 60
mm,
70%, 30% is going for loss. Again, you're filling up the landfill anyways.
mm,
So you have to be very instrumental in what you are going to take. Like our research department, our
mm,
employees, me myself, we are always on it. Like we travel the world, we go everywhere, we see new technologies, we try to
mm,
get
mm,
it over there. Because see, again, the numbers are going to rise, and again, and it is a first
mm.
mover advantage.
Right.
Any other company, any bigger company, when they see like you have those technologies, they will work with you. They will want to work with you, and they will pay you that much
Mm,
when you show them the entire picture of
mm,
what we are
mm,
trying to do. I'm also, we are also working on. It's a new thing. We are working on battery recycling right now.
mm. Yeah.
EV. So EV is basically your lithium.
Right, right, right.
Battery, right? So it is there in every your phones are having
Mm, mm,
lithium
mm,
battery. Your the computers,
mm,
laptops, your vehicle, everything
mm.
is going EV. It's after like since last 1 or 2 years, everyone is talking about EV. So
Yeah, correct.
you are going to get a new EV today. You will enjoy for 5 years. What is going to happen with the battery later on?
Correct.
You just have to get disposed.
Mm,
So
mm.
someone has to come in and set up that entire facility of recycling again. So, like I said, for e-waste, it was a similar thing for us that time. And right now, we are working in the electronic vehicle or EV and lithium battery space. So, it's a very interesting project to do. Now, another, like by next year, you'll see our facility operational.
Yeah,
One
I
minute.
completely agree with you because the way the EV penetration is increasing, specifically in the two-wheeler space and three-wheeler space,
Exactly.
actually, right? So whereas the India has
Even
put
for
the
four
target.
wheelers, like all your buses right now are getting battery operated, right? So
Yeah,
government is also pushing in a lot with
yeah, 100%.
EV right
So we are in fact working along with the government on electric bus related, the project. So MHI, Ministry of Heavy Industry, we are working very closely with them
now. Oh,
on increasing the adoption of e-bus in India, actually electric bus in India,
nice.
actually. So that is another thing. So
So we keep developing new technologies. We,
absolutely,
we keep
absolutely.
on, looking for new opportunities in the similar business and similar modules.
Yeah,
So
because that is going to be a big thing in next three,
that's
four
what
years.
everyone was saying
Actually,
for
yeah, yeah,
e-waste
yeah,
also. That
yeah, yeah.
e-waste is going to be a big thing, and it is
Specifically
becoming.
battery recycling. I tell you, these
Yeah,
LFP batteries are there. The lithium iron batteries. But tell me, based on your experience, is there any value for this lithium iron battery? What we understand is that there is a zero value for this. The lithium iron LFP batteries after its the life, basically, if it
correct.
is a
So see,
3 year
there
life
are
or say whatever
it's a
life.
myth that there is zero value. There
Hmm.
are values. See, again, it is on how you see it,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
What we our process is, again, we don't believe in only recycling. We are recycling, reusing, and refurbishing also. So
Hmm.
the facility what we are going to set up, the equipments what we are going to get, the lab that we are going to make, we are also planning to reuse these battery when we buy the batteries from
Only
producers or.
battery cell you need to only change. Otherwise, everything can
No,
be
so the
the
battery
same
cell
actually.
also needs to be 50% charged. If it
Yeah.
is below 50%, of course, it has to get recycled. There is no,
Hmm.
as in you make black mass, you recover metal out of it, you make black mass, and that black mass is exported.
Hmm.
But we find a very big gap in the refurbishing sector.
Hmm.
What a refurbishing sector is going to be like with e-waste, what happened was your computers, laptop and computers became a very big market in
Hmm.
general for business, right? Recycling is one part of it, but refurbishing was a very big business. Like you refurbish it and you sell it again in the market, so your
Hmm.
majorly आपका जो sell है for
Hmm. Hmm.
new products, it is getting lowered. Of course, that much pollution also will get lowered, that
Correct.
much carbon footprint will get lowered.
Hmm.
Similar thing we are looking into EV also. The
Hmm.
cell, if we can charge that cell, make smaller packs of batteries and
Hmm.
sell it to
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
producer, sell
Hmm.
it to applications like solar panel lights,
या
sell it
एनर्जी
to.
स्टोरेज के लिए भी यूज किया जा सकता है एक्चुअली.
Exactly.
या.
So we are looking at that part as an
Hmm.
opportunity, and
Hmm.
we are looking at that part as a business also to, and of course circular economy is one of the biggest criteria behind it. Rest whatever is remaining will get recycled, and whatever the process is of extracting up to lithium and cobalt.
Hmm.
So that's how we look at it.
Yeah, so now in this particular sector, I think you started saying that it's very highly informal. Sector only 10 to 15% are like formal, and still 80 to 85% is informal. So, what do you see are the major, the roadblocks when it comes to formalizing this particular sector? Okay, and what, in your opinion, the government should be doing to make it this sector more formal? Actually.
So see, roadblocks are majorly, again, like I said, uh, they are they are spreaded so much across
Hmm.
everywhere that you can't really stop anyone.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
It's just that you have to work with them, or somehow you have to take them under your observations, or under your guidance of
Hmm.
what is to be done, how it is to be done. Of course, the government has been very instrumental in making compliances of EPR and IPR and
Hmm.
etc.
Hmm.
Maybe if the government would put more obligations on the municipal corporation.
Hmm. Hmm.
ठीक है,
Hmm.
आपने रिसाइकलर्स क्रिएट कर दिए, आपने प्रोड्यूसर के ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी डाल दी, आप
Hmm.
लाइक यू हैव ऑलरेडी प्राइवेटाइज्ड अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स.
Hmm.
But what is the government doing to so that we can get this material? What
Hmm.
is the government doing that are they stopping the informal sector by giving
Hmm.
licenses, or by doing that kind of business, or opening up
Hmm.
anything anywhere and just starting it? If
Hmm.
you see in every half a kilometer in India or 1 kilometer, there is a kabaddi wala sitting everywhere in a chowk
Hmm.
somewhere.
Hmm. Hmm.
Are you auditing those people like you are auditing us?
Yeah,
We are
yeah.
paying all the duties, we are
Hmm.
paying all the fees, we are complying with all the
mm,
necessary compliance you've asked us to do. Everything is getting done, but are you on them? Are you
mm,
looking
mm,
out of what these people are doing? Where are they getting this material from? As in that the duty is not mine. As in I'm still doing it for the social welfare or for the collection. That's my strategy. But the
mm,
government should be very instrumental in looking after all of these informal sector of what is like really happening.
mm, mm,
Rest their policies are great. It's very new to India, frankly.
mm,
150 crore people, so many companies. It's going to take some time to for them also to understand, implement, happen. But I think so in today's age, like the governance is so strong, they can really crack numbers within few years, right?
mm.
So maybe that should be taken care of.
So, you said EPR policies and then say BRSR requirements for the company to disclose e-waste, etc. So, definitely the regulations are coming in force, so that the companies at least are required to disclose what they are doing. Once they start disclosing it, definitely then there will be a pressure on them to handle it properly. So, I think the government is probably doing step by step.
Yeah. It will
That's
take
what.
some time. It's like I said, it's such a big nation, right? It's going to take some time.
So when it comes to say the regulatory environment or the regulatory framework for say the e-waste management, do you feel currently there are some gaps, or you think that current regulatory environment or say the legal framework for e-waste management is kind of ideal, and there is no such the problem when you are operating within that particular framework?
See, I would not say that it's perfect,
Hmm.
but they are there, is
Okay.
what I would say. Because see, like rules have been changing every 5 years. Last
Mm,
year the rules have changed. New
mm,
products have been added. Because of course, why they had to add new products was e-waste is not only 15 products, right?
mm,
Electronics is everywhere, and
mm,
whoever is
mm,
manufacturing, selling lights, bulb tubes, like
mm,
everything.
mm, mm,
So now they are also, like they tried something for 5 years,
mm,
it became a
mm,
success.
mm,
Slowly they'll start implementing, because what is going to happen is at suddenly if you implement everything together, it is going to be a big mess
mm,
altogether.
mm, mm,
So they have to give certain time frame to for people also to get used to the
mm,
compliance, to get used to what is to be done and how. Like right
mm,
now, there are earlier we were doing the recycling, we were giving them certificates to the producer, a
mm,
handwritten certificate. That
mm,
certificate would be produced to the Pollution Control Board or CPCB
mm,
for their environmental clearances, and their EPR obligation would be fulfilled.
mm,
Now,
mm,
what has happened is that everything has become online.
mm, mm,
Now we just have to upload our purchases, we have to upload our sales, we have to generate the credits and transfer the credit to the producers. Once
mm,
the
mm,
credits are transferred to the producer, their obligation of EPR goes down.
mm, mm, mm,
So that is still in a process. Now server has just started. Server उन्होंने बनाया, it got hacked apparently. So 1 year went into that mess of what is exactly happening, and we also as companies we have to learn all of these things. It is not like it is also new for me. You
mm,
understand?
mm, mm,
So,
mm. Correct, correct,
every year
correct.
they can't keep changing things, and with which they have been doing since 2 years apparently. And it is it's good, as in overall it's a like earlier recyclers were in a dark this thing that once we get a PO, then we
Mm,
will start the work, or if I
mm,
start
mm,
the work of recycling and then iska loss bear kon karega. But
mm,
now
mm,
as it has come, everything is online. We just have to sell the credits. We can keep on,
mm,
like we can go max. We can work like entire 10,000 tons is what I
mm.
can achieve. That's my target for this year also. So
Wonderful.
they are getting there. Like
Yeah. So probably my last question actually on this one. So on the one side, definitely I think you are doing a great work when it comes to really helping the other companies to manage their e-waste. Definitely, any company wants to handle e-waste in a more environment friendly manner. You are kind of helping them in doing so. When it comes to say your own company, how do you kind of see the ESG playing out within your own company? Say the environment, social, and say the governance aspect of your company, because since you are dealing with this kind of the material, it definitely must be requiring a lot of the energy. It must be energy intensive, etc. And because it is energy intensive, definitely it must be emitting some sort of the carbon as well. So how do you kind of the manage these ESG principles within your own say the organization?
So, see, like I said earlier, we are 100% compliant company. So all the
Okay.
ISOs that are required to,
Hmm.
do the job of this recycling, let it be
Hmm.
hazardous, all the ISOs are in place. We are a ISO accredited company of 1400,
Hmm.
and also 14002 is in place. Then there is a R2 recycling, which is, Perry Johnson accredited. It's a US based auditing firm which gives you R2 recycling. Not many people in India or not many recyclers over here have it, like hardly 5 to 10 companies who are compliant of R2, because the process of R2 is only very tedious, and they go and check each and everything of what the worker is doing, like how you have insured each and every person, how the even if you're emitting from a certain smoke from the furnace, if the like is it ESG compliant? Is there a holding, or is there any carbon emission that is happening? Is it tested? So all of those ethical conducts and governance is in place according to the CPCB rule. What is required, we have each and everything. Of course, we can give you the details of how many compliances we are having right now. We can give you a detailed documentation of that. And also, like I said, when these bigger companies whom I'm working with, they
Hmm.
do not onboard you only until you don't have like this consideration. Like there is a labor act happening,
Hmm.
ESIC,
Hmm.
PF is being paid. There are safety standards have to be maintained. There are certain boards of mishandling, handling, environmental. All of these boards are already placed in our facility. The way you enter the facility, there has to be like certain helmets, and all those gears are compulsory. Whatever emission we are doing with regards to carbon, with
Hmm.
regards to mercury which is getting extracted from the CRTs, like there's the entire thing in place. So energy efficiency, pollution prevention, like all the resources are there.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So I'll just like to probably ask my colleague Preeti if you have anything, because I am done with my
Um,
the
Uh,
questions.
yeah, thank you so much. I have already interacted with one of the directors. I don't remember, maybe Mr. Parikshit only, when I was in Germany and I was doing my research on e-waste management comparison with the German country and India. So I took the case study of Techeco. So it was wonderful, and that's why I suggested that we should take his interview because he has a rich experience. So from my
Yeah.
side, I don't have any question. I would just
Okay.
say thank you for this
Okay.
wonderful
Yeah.
discussion. Yeah.
So I think I'll also would like to thank Mr. Parikshit Pooja on behalf of the Greenifit for this wonderful, and I would say very insightful the conversation. I am sure that once this conversation would be published in our newsletter, our reader will definitely be much more enriched in terms of their knowledge with respect to the e-waste related to the management, as well as the several other aspects which you discussed today. I am sure that this will be benefiting all our the readers. So thank you, Mr. Parikshit, once again. Thanks,
Thank you, Vishal.
Pooja.
Thank you,
Thank you
Preeti.
so much for sparing your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Thank
thanks.
you.
Great
Thank
talking to
you.
you
Thank
guys.
you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.